Morning. Welcome to Our Heritage Works. This is a special edition. Today we are going to be interviewing Martha from the Allergy Dragon. And Martha, I'm going to have you introduce yourself and tell us about your YouTube channel and all that. Give us your background.
Okay, hi. David, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. My name is Chef Martha Morgan. I am the creator of Allergy Dragon, which is also the name of my YouTube channel. It's also a company I created to basically, help create safe, recipes and just promote the fact that everybody has a right to delicious food. My background is I've been cooking professionally for over 28 years. I became a allergy mom in 2003 when my youngest had their first anaphylactic reaction at 9 months. And then I became a celiac chef personally and through my family in 2009. And some of that food that they were trying to give us was just really horrible. It was really bad. And I was like, I can do better. And I can also not pay $10 for it, for a little loaf of bread. So that's what I basically did. And I actually started the YouTube channel in 2018, August of 2018, just to basically get myself out there and kind of get comfortable in front of the camera and just have a documented, this is my recipes and things like that. My mom had just passed away and I just really wanted to have a record of these recipes and just have something that my kids could look back on. And oddly enough, and then people started contacting me from that. And that's how Allergy Dragon came to be.
That's cool. And, we were talking earlier that we met 3-4 years ago, is before COVID, at
Yes.
a gluten-free fest in Ohio. And we kind of connected really quickly at that show. I remember it distinctly. And while I was there, I was mentioning that I believe that even though we have allergens that we have to worry with, it doesn't mean that the food has to taste horrible, that we need to have good tasting food just like everybody else. It's got to be pleasing to the eye, etc. And that sounds a lot like what you're about. Is that accurate?
I would agree with that. And yes, it was like 2019 when we met, and I had just launched the website. And yeah, you're one of those people, or you and your wife were those people, some of those people that I really remembered connecting with, because it was just like, oh my gosh, there's somebody out there that honestly, when I met David, like the first thing that I remember you telling me, it was like, I've been looking for somebody like you. And which sounds kind of weird to other people if you took it out of context, but it was just really a connection. And honestly, that comment really fueled me of like, I'm supposed to be doing this. This is where I'm supposed to be at. Because people need me. So because of your vocalization, yeah, we instantly connected on the fact that we don't need to be complacent about food. We have rights to have delicious food. We get too into the safety net. This is my safe food. Don't want to explore out of it, and that kind of thing. But we have a right to delicious food.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
If I remember right, I had just made some duck breasts that were made with a cherry reduction sauce, and it was really, really good. And I had made that like just the day or two before we met, and I still remember that particular recipe. Though I am one of those that I don't like eating the same thing over and over and over again. I've got to have variety.
Me
So,
too.
I think you touched on this, but what was the inspiration for your YouTube channel?
A mixture of things. The main reason I wanted to do the YouTube channel is because people had been, I think when we first met, we spoke to, like, people had been telling you to do a blog or something like that. People had been constantly telling me, you need to put your recipes out there. You need to write a cookbook. You need to do that. And I honestly had, my mother had passed away. And one of the things she used to always tell me was, you need to be on Chopped. You should be on Chopped. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And so I actually made the YouTube channel because I had realized that I decided to actually apply for Chopped. and I got through like the first 2 sections, but then the last one, I didn't get the last callback for it. And I think it really had to do with the fact that I didn't feel comfortable in front of a camera from the camera test that I had to do. Because at that time it was like Skype. And I didn't realize I wanted to do it so bad until it happened. And so I actually made the YouTube channel to have a record for my kids to look back on. And then it went into the website, but people contacted me and I didn't really realize that this was the path I needed to be on. But yeah, I always say it was my mom was behind it, behind the scenes, pushing me to it. And then I just ended up being able to connect with people and realize, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do. So that's why I created it.
So what would you consider is your philosophy for allergy or allergen free foods and allergen free living?
Well, I guess I don't know if it's a philosophy or not, or as much as just a demand I think we have, which is obviously that we all deserve delicious food, but we all deserve delicious and safe food. So, you know, the FDA, people will talk about medication. And I think that's something that people need to realize, that allergy friendly food is not really any different than regular food. It's just you have to use different ingredients and you have to find workarounds. And it's really based on chemistry. So to find the delicious, you have to really look at the whole recipe. You have to look at the person that's eating the food. What do you have to change about that to still make it delicious? And is it feasible to do? Most things are feasible to do. People take it and, well, I can't do that. I can't do that. I can make a chili that has no tomatoes in it. And it's garlic free and it has no meat in it. And most people have no clue either way. They're like, what? What do you mean there's no tomatoes in it? Oh, I can't eat that. It has tomatoes in it. No, it doesn't. It's tomato free. And so the fact that, you know, you blow people's mind, because sometimes I'll tell them, like, do you have food allergies when they taste my food? And they're like, no. I'm like, okay, well, taste this. This is some chili. Great. They eat the chili. I was like, oh my gosh, it's real amazing. I was like, there's no tomatoes in it. Then I start telling them what it is. Obviously, if they're a food allergen, I'm going to talk to them and be like, okay, well, what's your food allergies? See if it's safe for you to eat. But it's just a demand. I really think. I think we demand safe food, but we also need to demand delicious food. And I know that when you go out to a restaurant or that kind of thing, that you're kind of looking at safety, and that's what they should obviously be looking at. But safety for everybody, honestly, because if you don't have safe food and safe water, it doesn't make any sense that you're open as a restaurant in the first place. So I really think it goes hand in hand. So when I really start to hear a lot of these people, I can't do that, I can't do that, they can't, to a certain degree. Like, it depends on how big their kitchen is, what they have, but at least be informed by what they're saying. So my philosophy is everybody can have delicious food. You may just not be able to get it everywhere you want or every time you need it. And I also think that as somebody that has food allergies, the ending of my philosophy is just basically we demand what we need, what we want. And I know that sounds kind of aggressive, but you can demand things nicely. A big demand is if you're talking to people about food allergies and they can't accommodate you, instead of getting angry about it, you walk away, because it's money broken out of their pockets. It's money that's not being sold on the shelves. If they don't want to put the labeling down the way that they should, you know, then you contact them and let them know that you're losing money because you're not labeling right, or that you're not being, you know, really open about how you produce your product. Because I'm not trying to steal your ingredients. I just want to know if I can eat it. Like, you know, I just want to know if it's going to not harm anybody in my family. And I think we have to be the change. I've been part of the change since 2003 with my youngest, because food labeling today is still not where it should be. But there were no guidelines by the FDA till 2005. That they had legally, it was passed in 2004. They had to have it in 2005 for the top 8 allergens had to be on there. May contain and processed around are still, you know, they're not mandatory, and they mean the same thing. It's just the verbiage is different. So you really have to contact, you know, who's making it. And now we, of course, we have the top 9. But gluten-free, same thing. 2015, they didn't have, you know, it was 2015 before they had guidelines for the FDA on what could be considered gluten-free and testing. And still, that's still mandated by the people that they expect them to, you know, the FDA expects the person that's producing this item to actually test it or that kind of thing. That's why we have gluten-free watchdog and different things like that out there. So I'm an OG, you know, before Google and the internet really took, I mean, the internet is good, but it was dial up, so, and before you could type everything into Google and try to find everything. And so we've always had to kind of push, and I don't think people realize that. And I think you still have to push. And I think there's a way to push that, to be nice about it, but at the same time, be aggressive, if that makes any sense. So I think we have to fight and come together collectively. That's my philosophy with food allergies, and just try to do it as nicely and as positively as you can, because instead of thinking about what you can't eat, you need to think about what you can. So those are my philosophies on life in general and food allergies, which is kind of all together,
Yeah, I agree with you, and I'm finding that we're doing more the focusing on, well, yeah, there's a list of things that we can't have, but what can we have and how good can we make it?
Mm-hmm.
And what can we do with ingredients that you might not normally think of?
Right.
That allow us to have wonderful food, and then how can we surprise others? That's kind of always fun.
Oh yeah, that's the funnest part, is when you give something to somebody. I'll remember one of my chef friends that I was taking them a shortbread cookie when we first started doing this, and I was like, "Here, I need you to try these shortbread. I think they're really great." And he's like, "What? You were telling me there's no," because they were top 8 allergen friendly, so there was no dairy, there was no, but he's like, "There's no butter in here." I'm like, "No, there's no eggs, no." And he's like, "I'm getting ready to eat cardboard. I just see it on his face, And he took a bite of it, and the next thing I know, he's taking the bag and he's running around, taste these. And so it's such a huge win when you have somebody that doesn't eat like this all the time, and it's just a good cookie or it's just a good cake. It's such a huge win for us in the allergy community, but everybody, because then that means everybody can eat it,
That's awesome. All right, I have 2 questions left for you.
Okay.
The first one is, so what's in store for the Allergy Dragon going forward?
Oh my gosh, we have a lot of things going on right now that just recently popped up. So I just in July recently became part of I can't talk now, sorry. I became part of the CAB board, which is the Community Advisory Board for SAFAR, which is the Center for Food Allergy and Asthma Research, which is up with Feinberg School of Medicine in Chicago and Richie Gupta's group. So if you've ever watched Rotten, there's like an episode 2 about the peanut epidemic or something like that. Her group's involved with that, so if anybody wants to check them out, but they're a really great resource to have. And so I'm really happy to be part of that group. I do some IG takeovers with them and that kind of thing. If I've done that in the past, and then it's the first time becoming part of the Community Advisory Board. So I'm excited about that. And it's all thanks to Allergy Dragon, I think. Let's see here. I've got to present with LAND, which is the Louisville Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. I'm here in Louisville, Kentucky. I work with a lot of registered dietitians because I've also worked in a hospital setting for the past 8 years. I ran a hospital kitchen. So it's really fun to be branching out. Allergy Dragon's opened up a lot of doors. As far as YouTube channel, I've actually started to be able to start producing more because I was running a kitchen during COVID for 8 years or for 7 years, but for the 2 years that COVID was going on pretty heavy, it was kind of burnt out a little bit. So I've actually pulled back because, and I'm now into health information management. So I'm actually not in the kitchen as of June officially. And so I'm not in the kitchen during the day at work, but I am still very active in Allergy Dragon. So that's the good things. I do cooking classes. I do virtual and in person, and I work with a local place called Rainbow Blossom, which is like a nutrition chain of local. It's almost like Whole Foods, but it's local based, and they've been open since 1977, and they're a great local bunch of people, and I work with them, and we usually do like a monthly class through them, which is virtual and in person, so I can offer it at a little bit more of a reduced price because it's a group setting. But I do individual cooking classes, do them Zoom, like I said, or I do in person as well at Rainbow Blossom. And just more videos. I'm just happy to actually start to be able to interview more people. We started an Allergy Dragon's lair. My sister just got over having cancer, and fought that. And she happens to have celiac disease. So she's come on board as my health and beauty advisor because that's what she's really into. But we found like we had trouble with our skin and getting gluten and things like that, and it affecting us personally, or even allergens that are in your topical items. So that's what she kind of does. I'm not a makeup person. I wear some, but she's very much into the health and beauty foo-foo stuff. So she's my older sister, but it's good to have that help. And she has different dietary needs. She happens to have celiac disease, but she also has peanut allergy that she didn't get until she was early 50s. So we see a lot of that going on too, people having later life allergens. So I guess it was like a very big, answer, but I have a lot of things coming up that I can't really 100% talk about. But I've been doing some more news appearances lately, which is really cool. Anything to kind of get our information out there. I've applied again for Chopped, but I haven't heard anything back. We'll see.
Well, good luck with that.
Thank you. I want to get on just to prove a point, just that we can have good food. And that it doesn't, it's like, even if I don't win, it's just to kind of push ourselves out there. In October, I'm going to be doing a local chili cook-off. And I'm doing my special chili with no tomatoes, no garlic. And I don't know if I'm going to win or not, but I'm pushing myself out there because I know I'm going to be the only one. And I think that's what I'm talking about when we push ourselves out there and just be visual. And no, a lot of people are probably not going to be there. They're going to have food allergies because of the fact it's a chili cook-off, and they're like, oh, I'm not going to go because I have all these food allergies, but I'm going to be the option there. And maybe somebody can go, hey, you could have gone, you could have ate, if they don't see my social medias or anything like that. So that's why I mean about pushing ourselves out there. We need to push ourselves out there and make it a visual thing that this is something that needs to be serviced.
Yeah.
So those are the things coming up.
Just a small list.
Just a small list.
Okay. I have one last question for you.
Sure.
And I know that I had told you a little bit about what to expect in this interview. I did not send you this one on purpose because I wanted to see exactly how you respond.
Okay, cool.
All right. If you were a kitchen utensil, what would it be and why?
A spoon. And the reason why it would be a spoon is because with a fork, you lose all your liquids, okay? And this is why it's also important, the spoon theory, if you have an autoimmune disease like I have RA and stuff. So a spoon is one of those utensils that you can do many things with. I can grab it, I can spread stuff on it. I can even I can cut meat with it if I'm, but a spoon is indispensable. I mean, a knife is very important, a fork is very important, but I would be a spoon because I need to get my broth. I can do lots of things with a spoon that you can't do with a knife and that you can't do with a fork. So it would be a spoon. You need a spoon.
I was not expecting that answer, but it's a very, very good answer.
Well, thank you.
And just so that you know, I would be a whisk because I'm
cool.
always stirring things up.
Oh, awesome. I love it. See, spoons. Yeah, I kind of was whisking, but I was like, but I can't taste it because, like, if it's too liquidy, you can't taste. And so that's why I was like, no, it has to be a spoon. Spoon. Okay, cool. Well, I'm glad that you shared it because I was really thinking the same thing. I was like, what do you think, David?
All right. Well, Martha, I really appreciate you taking time today to join us and share a little bit about what you're doing and promoting good health to everyone, whether you have an allergy of some sort or not. We're all the same in that regard. Any last words?
Not really. I mean, check me out. Check out the YouTube channel, check out my website. And if there's anything I can do, I do offer a 20-minute free consultation. So anytime anybody wants to just talk to me about stuff, there's no commitment whatsoever. It's just we talk to see if I can help you out or if I can point you in the direction of somebody that can.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Bye.